Hi everybody, I'm Sergio with Mobility Direct and welcome to our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what you need to know before purchasing a mobility scooter so that you can make an educated purchase. We're going to go over the terminology of a lot of common specifications that you may have never heard before, talk about the different types of mobility scooters and what the benefits are of each type. Now, before I get started, I just want to mention two quick things. Number one, if you want a copy of our brand new product catalog, just go to our website, mobilitydirect.com. Click on the green button at the top of every page that says free catalog. Fill out the simple short form, and you'll get one in the mail within 1 to 2 weeks tops. Or you could just click that link here in the corner that says free catalog, and it'll pull up the form. It's pretty easy. I also want to mention that if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you're automatically entered into our monthly giveaway. We give away a free mobility scooter once a month to a random subscriber. So if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. You could be the next lucky winner. With that being said, let's get started. All right, so as you can see, we're in one of our showrooms here, and we have lots of mobility scooters to choose from, such as some travel-friendly lightweight models that come apart, like the Buzz Around and the Go-Go, two of the most popular models out there. And we're going to throw a little snippet on the screen to show you what it's like to take them apart. They're really easy to travel with, great for someone that enjoys traveling, going out and about, without having to get an expensive vehicle lift that attaches to your SUV or truck's hitch receiver. You can travel with these pretty easily. The heaviest piece on these when they break down can weigh as little as 31 pounds, some of them even lighter. Now, if you want something really lightweight, the travel-friendly models that come apart are my preferred and recommended choice, but you can also consider a folding model. Now, folding models such as the brand new iGo by Pride Mobility weigh around 50 to 60 pounds typically, and some of them even come apart too. They break in half, which I'm going to throw on the screen for you now. This iGo is one of my favorite folding mobility scooters. It comes apart into two pieces. It's very lightweight and easy to manage, very compact, great to travel on airplanes with. We have demonstration videos on several models, including this one, and my other favorite folding mobility scooter, which is the Buzz Around Carry-On by Golden Technologies. Currently our top-selling folding mobility scooter. It folds flat and it takes a profile of only 12 inches high when you fold it. And what makes this one unique is that you can put it in the trunk of the car without having to deadlift any weight at all. I mean, it's really easy to put in the trunk of the car, and I'm going to throw a snippet on the screen of how it works, just so that you can see. Great product made by a great manufacturing company. And by the way, Golden Technologies, which is the manufacturer of this product, and Pride Mobility, the manufacturer of the previous iGo, both include a 1-year in-home repair contract in addition to an industry-leading parts warranty, which is just a huge peace of mind that comes with the purchase of every one of their powered mobility products, including their power wheelchairs and lift chair recliners. Now, something to keep in mind when it comes to travel-friendly scooters, whether they're the take-apart scooters, aka the disassembling models, or the folding models, is that they usually cap out at around 300 to 350 pounds. There are some exceptions. We do have a Revo model, which is a pretty heavy-duty model that comes apart, and that can hold up to 400 pounds, but most of them are in the ballpark range of about 300 to 350 pound weight capacity, with a few exceptions. So if that's not enough, you may want to consider a heavy-duty scooter. What I have here is the Raptor 2 by Pride Mobility. Now, this can hold up to 400 pounds, but there are other models that are even bigger, like the Wrangler, the Maxima. These can hold anywhere from 400 to 500 pounds, and they are very heavy-duty machines that have big motors, big tires, and we have a huge selection of heavy-duty mobility scooters. You can just click that link right there if you want to see our full selection of heavy-duty mobility scooters. Typically, the heavy-duty mobility scooters are going to have bigger tires. They're going to be better suited for going on grass and various terrain types, as opposed to the travel and folding mobility scooters, which are not really designed to go on grass and being used off-road full-time, but a lot of them can handle traversing over grass no problem. We do have some really great videos, which you can click on the link right there to see our grass testing videos on all the travel-friendly models to see which ones perform better than others on grass. But if you need something that's going to go on gravel and rough terrain, more often than not, you probably want to consider either a heavy-duty model or something in between, like a full-size model. All right, so let's get started with discussing the specifications, which is in the title of this video. We want to talk about the specs that are most important, especially for a first-time buyer. If you've never owned a mobility scooter before, You don't want to buy a mobility scooter without watching this video first and learning about some of the important specifications that matter the most. And we're going to start with the seat, because let's be honest, that's where you're going to spend most of your time, and you want to make sure it's comfortable. So if you have a recliner, an office chair, or even an automobile with a seat that you feel comfortable in, I highly recommend getting a measuring tape and measuring the seat width. So this model is a travel-friendly scooter. It's the Go-Go, and it's the Elite Traveler. And if you measure from left to right, it's got about a 17.5-inch wide seat. Now the depth is also important, and the depth on this model is about 16 inches. Now we have the specifications for the seat of every single model that we carry on our website, and I'm going to throw that on the screen so you know how to get to it. You basically just go to any product that you're interested in, click on the specs tab, and you're going to see all the important specs, not just the seat width and the seat depth. You'll see the back height of the backrest. You'll also be able to see if the armrests flip up, if they're width adjustable. Some of the armrests are height adjustable, and our website will tell you all of that stuff. You also have seat rotation levers on a lot of the models, which I'm demonstrating. You can go 360 degrees actually. And some models even have an additional lever, which I'll throw on the screen, which allow you to slide the seat forward and backwards. So if you need to get closer to the handlebars or further away, you can slide the seat forward and back. Not only that, most of the seats are height adjustable by about 2 inches. So you can see here on the screen, we're throwing an overlay. There's a seat post, and that's what the seat attaches to. You can raise that seat post platform up or down with a 2-inch range, and that's going to help you really find that sweet spot depending on how tall you are. Now I will tell you that most mobility scooters are designed for users that are around 5 to 6 foot tall, maybe give or take an inch. If you are 6'2" or taller, scooters are not designed for exceptionally tall people. They're not optimized and best suited for taller individuals. So what I recommend is getting a 3-wheel scooter. We have videos specifically for the most recommended mobility scooters for taller individuals, and those are going to be the 3-wheel scooters, which I'm going to throw on the screen now, such as the Victory 10.2 3-wheel, the Golden Light Rider 3-wheel as well. Those have a ton of floor space, and it doesn't make you feel cramped up. Your knees aren't going to be hitting the handlebar assembly, and that's a really important thing to consider. Something else to consider while we're talking about measurements of the seat is your seat to ground height. So when you're getting into the scooter, you want to know how tall the seat is from the floor to the part where your butt's going to be on. And knowing that measurement's important. So if you have a dinner table at home with chairs that seem like they're a good height, or an office chair, like I said, take a measurement of the seat to the ground height of a chair you're already comfortable with and compare that to the specifications on our website. That way you're going to get into a mobility scooter that feels comfortable to get in and out of. You might also want to pay attention to the specification on our web pages that gives you the seat to deck height as well, because a lot of people first take a step onto the deck and then they get in the chair. And that is something that you may want to consider looking at as well, so that you're comfortable and it's easy for you to get in and out of the chair. A lot of folks like rotating the seat sideways, lifting the armrest up to get in and out of the chair. It's a little bit more accessible that way to do so. You can get in, your feet are now up, and you don't have to lift your legs so high. If you have a hard time doing that, it helps to rotate the seat. So check to see on our website if the model you're interested in has the seat rotation option. It's a really important option. While we're talking about comfort adjustment features that are really important, I also want to tell you about the tiller assembly. So the whole handlebar assembly with the dash is called the tiller. And some tillers have a release knob or a lever that you can rotate. And then we're going to back away with the camera and show you that you can tilt the handlebar assembly closer to you. Or if you have really tall knees and you need to get it out of the way, you can tilt it further away from you and then lock it back into position. And that's called an adjustable tiller. So look out for that specification. The adjustable tilting tiller is a really nice feature to look out for in a mobility scooter. You want that when you purchase a mobility scooter. In my opinion, it's a must-have feature. Something else that's a must-have feature, I think, for a lot of folks is the Delta wraparound tiller, or just any kind of throttle system that you can use with one hand. So let me show you what I mean. This throttle system here is kind of like a seesaw paddle system almost. So I've got the speed all the way down, and I can pull on the right lever to go forward with my right hand, or push forward on that right lever to go backwards. And as you notice, when I push forward, the left lever goes back. When I pull back, the left lever goes forward. So I can use my left hand to go back, my left hand to go forward. I can do the same with my right hand, but the controls are inverted. Push forward to go back, pull back to go forward. So I really only need one hand to safely operate this mobility scooter. And guess what? Most mobility scooters have automatic brakes known as electromagnetic brakes. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to turn the speed up just a little bit. And as soon as I let go of the throttle, the brakes kick in. I don't need to squeeze a brake lever. As soon as I let go, the brakes engage. It takes about a second to a second and a half to come to a complete stop. And the scooter's not going to roll around freely. It's a safety feature. And again, that's called electromagnetic brakes, also known as automatic brakes. Check the specifications on our website for any model you're interested in to see if it has automatic brakes, also known as electromagnetic brakes, which are very safe, and it's a very nice feature to have in a mobility scooter. Now, some of the recreational mobility scooters, or even just regular recreational scooters that we offer, have regular brakes that you would use like a bicycle. It has a hand brake lever, and I'm going to show you that on this model here. This is a recreational grade scooter. You can see I'm actually pushing the scooter manually right now, and the brakes are not locked in like the mobility scooters we were looking at before. With this model, you have a hand brake lever that you have to engage to stop the unit. Now, some units have automatic brakes with a supplemental manual brake to help you slow down even quicker, because like I mentioned before, the automatic brakes take about a second and a half to bring you to a complete stop. Also, while we're here, I want to talk about the alternative throttle types. This is a twist throttle. So you can only use the right hand to activate the throttle, and it's a twist grip. Unlike the mobility scooters with the throttle paddles, you can only use one hand to control the throttle. And there's a forward and a reverse switch on most of the models that have a twist grip. Really important to note, really important to look out for, and we have all that information on our webpage in the specification section. Alright, so now I have two scooters out in front of me. They're both four-wheel models, and I want to mention something that I think is really important, especially if you're going to go on grass. Now, these travel-friendly mobility scooters are not meant to go on grass full time, but some can traverse over grass patches better than others. And we actually have a video that tests plenty of different travel-friendly models that are top sellers on grass to show you how they perform. And if you just click on that link right up here, you'll be able to see that video. It's pretty easy to access it that way. So the ground clearance is an important factor when trying to figure out if it's going to handle well on grass or on dirt and things like that. So you want to get your measuring tape, and you're going to see here from the bottom of the foot deck to the floor, that's the ground clearance. So if you can imagine when you're riding over grass, if it's tall grass that's like, say, 4 inches long, that grass is going to rub up underneath the floorboard, and it's going to cause friction and really bog down the motor and overheat that motor. Now look at this model. This is the Buzz Around Carry-On. You've got a 4-inch ground clearance. So when it comes to going on grass, this is one of the best folding travel mobility scooters to use. Again, it's not designed to go on grass full time, but that's just another feature that's just really going to make the golden Buzz Around Carry-On model GB120 one of our top choices for going on grass. Alright, so remember, you can check the specifications section out for the ground clearance. It's going to be there. We also have the specifications for the front tires and the rear tires. Obviously, if you have bigger tires, it's going to do better on grass. The wider the tire, the better it's going to do on grass. The diameter also helps to have bigger tires, but I would recommend, if you're going to be using it off-road a lot, go with the heavy duty models with big tires. Don't go with the travel friendly scooters with small motors and small tires. Over the long run, they're not gonna like that, and you might run into some situations where the batteries need to be replaced sooner than later. These motors in these small scooters are just not designed for off-road use. If you want to check out some really cool off-road mobility scooters, we actually have a video showing you all of the best outdoor and off-road mobility scooters. Check it out with the link in the description, or just click on that link right there. One other specification that's pretty important and that you're going to want to know about is the incline rating, especially if you plan on going off-road and outdoors a lot. If you're going to go up hills in certain cities, there's a lot of inclines on the streets, not even off-road, but on the city streets like California. We've got some cities that have a lot of inclines. So if you are going to be dealing with inclines, I hate to say it, but travel-friendly mobility scooters are really not designed to handle steep inclines. You might trip the breaker, the circuit breaker might need to be reset, and you're gonna lose power, tick the motors. Sometimes the circuit breakers kick in and they turn the power off so that you don't overheat your motor. These mobility scooters that are travel friendly typically can handle about a 6 to an 8 degree incline. And just to give you an idea, a typical accessibility ramp that you would see in a commercial plaza to get up a curb is about 4.5 degrees. So if you can imagine what it's like to go up one of those ramps to get above a curb at a parking lot to get into a store being 4.5 degrees, these scooters normally handle about 6 to 8 degrees at most, about 8 degrees at most. Now, when you get into heavy duty scooters like the ones I'm throwing on the screen now, we've got the Wrangler, the Aficum scooters. These scooters have big motors and they can handle inclines very, very well. There's also some mid-size scooters and full-size scooters. You don't necessarily have to get those huge tank-like looking scooters that handle inclines much better than a travel-friendly mobility scooter. So you really have to think about all of these specifications. And by the way, guys, that's what our non-commissioned sales experts are here for. If you call them, they're not pushy, they're not aggressive, they're not going to give you the used car salesman approach. They just want to recommend a product that is going to be a good fit for you for many, many years to come. Again, they're non-commissioned, and they're waiting to take your call to answer your question. So hopefully we can earn your business, and we'll wait to hear from you. We are going to go over a few other things, specifically the differences between the 3-wheel and the 4-wheel model when it comes to the turning radius, which is another specification that you definitely want to check out. All right, so as you can see, I have two identical models here in front of me. The only difference is this is the 3-wheel version of the GoGo Ultra X, and this is the 4-wheel. So we have model number S49 and model S39. They're both GoGo Ultra X models by Pride Mobility, and check the link in the description below if you want to learn more about them. However, these models are going to be the perfect two models to use to demonstrate the difference between a 3-wheel and a 4-wheel. Now, there's two things that are really important about the 3-wheel models and the 4-wheel models. The key differentiators here are your foot space. You've got more room for your feet because you don't have two wheels in the front with wheel wells that you would have on the 4-wheel. So on the 4-wheel version, let me show you. I'm about 6 foot tall, okay? If I put my feet up on the wheel well, look at my knees. They're hitting the handlebar already, and that is making me feel a little bit cramped. And we're gonna move to the side and show you a profile shot of that. So if I put my feet up here, let's say I've got big feet, and I've got about a size 12 shoe. If you have a size 13, you're pretty much stuck in between the battery pack and the wheel well. So you're forced to put your feet up high on top. Now, sure, the good thing is that this has an adjustable tilt feature for the tiller, so I can move the tiller out of the way. But if I have smaller arms that aren't long, it'll feel like it's far away from me. And these are things you want to keep in mind when you're shopping for a mobility scooter. Now, with the 4-wheel version, I can put my feet up high, and that's fine. The handlebars are going to be a little further away. With the 3-wheel version, I don't have those wheel wells, so my feet stay down low, even if I just have my heels resting on them. Now, this model doesn't have the long extended floorboard, which I'm gonna throw on the screen another model to show you. Some scooters have a much bigger floorboard compared to this model, the Ultra X, like the Golden Light Rider 3-wheel, which personally is one of my favorite and most recommended 3-wheel mobility scooters for taller folks, which you can learn more about that model by clicking at the link at the top right-hand corner of the screen. It's a great model, and again, one of the best models for taller individuals. All right, so now we're going to talk about one more really important specification, which is the turning radius. Three-wheel models can turn a lot sharper than four-wheel models, and the turning radius is the measurement of the turning ability, turning factor, let's just call it. So I'm going to demonstrate what it's like to do a U-turn on this three-wheel model, and then we'll do it on the four-wheel model, which again is the same exact scooter as far as all the dimensions go. The only difference is it's a four-wheel model. So we'll start with the three-wheel model. I'm going to cut the wheel all the way to the right. My tire, I've marked where it is, so I'm going to start off with the same exact spot with the four-wheel. Now I'm going to go ahead and go real slow, and you're going to see the turning ability on this model. The back end almost stays completely still. And I'm back to where I started. Now, the amount of space required to do that donut, let's say it measures out to around 60 inches. Half of that would be the turning radius. Otherwise, it would be the turning diameter, the full circle. Now, I'm going to show you what it's like on the four-wheel version. All right, so here we are. We're going to test out the turning radius on this model, the four-wheel S49 by Pride Mobility, and show you the big difference here. It's going to take a lot more room to do a U-turn. So I'm going to turn my wheel all the way as far as I can go. I've got my speed down, and you're going to see I'm moving. The back end's not staying still like the previous model. And you can tell it's taking a lot more space to do that U-turn, which is to be expected. Now, something I want to mention is that with the four-wheel version, you do get a little bit of extra stability. Now, don't get me wrong. If you go full speed and take a turn, whether it's a three-wheel or a four-wheel, it could tip over. So be careful when using your mobility scooter. You want to slow down when you're taking turns. But the four-wheel versions do have a little bit more stability, especially when you're going on uneven terrains and on slopes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, again, is the turning radius specification. Make sure you look at the specification details on our webpage or when you're consulting with our non-commissioned sales experts so that you know what to expect as far as the turning ability of the scooter you're interested in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're almost done going over all the important specs. I do want to close this video up with this model, which is the GoGo Endurance, because it has two really neat features that are really cool that you should know about, and that is the suspension. The suspension factor is really important. You have front coil suspensions on the front. Some scooters have single coil suspensions on the front and the rear. This model has two suspension coils on the front and two suspension coils on the rear. So it has what's called full suspension. Models with full suspension are going to give you the smoothest ride. So when you're going over imperfections on the road or even just the cracks in the sidewalk, you're not going to feel much of it compared to the models that don't have suspension. So check out the specifications on our website, or you can just use the filter options when you're looking at all the mobility scooters from our website. We have filters that you can use to filter out models that only have suspension or that meet a certain threshold for speed, weight capacity, overall weight, weight of the heaviest piece for disassembling models, which is important if you're going to be carrying those pieces into the trunk of the car. You want to know what the weight of the heaviest piece is. Now, we actually have a video, which I'm going to put right here. There's a link, you can click on that, and it's going to teach you how to use our website to find the product that's best suited for your needs. It's a website navigation tutorial that shows you how to use our filters to narrow down the results to find the perfect product that you're looking for. You can also use it to learn how to download educational resources like our user manuals, our sales brochures, our spec sheets, which are all printable. And you can even find out how to add multiple items to our comparison list so that you can compare specifications across several models on one page, which is printer ready. You can hit the print screen button and it will print out a spec sheet with several models and all of their specifications side by side. It's a really neat tool, and I highly recommend watching that website tutorial that shows you how to use our website to get all the features of the website to work for you while you're shopping for your mobility scooter. Now, one other thing I want to mention about this model, which again is the GoGo Endurance, and you can click right there to learn more about the Endurance, is that it comes with lithium batteries. Now, lithium batteries are pretty much going to be available on most of the new models. It's the new standard for battery technologies. A lot of the new models come with lithium batteries as a standard option, and many of the older models that we have, you can upgrade them to have lithium batteries. You will want to consult with our parts department though, because you're going to need a lithium battery charger, and you're going to need to know what size lithium batteries will fit in your old scooter that is designed for regular lead acid batteries. Now the lithium batteries are going to weigh about half the weight of a traditional lead acid battery, and they're going to give you almost double the travel range, which is the distance you can go in miles on a full battery. Now the travel range will vary depending on the weight load of the user and whatever belongings you might have in the storage compartments. The more weight you put on the scooter, the less distance you'll be able to travel on a full charge. Another thing that will impact the travel range is the terrain type. If you're on a flat surface, you're going to get better range versus if you're on really rough terrain or if you're going on inclines. So the travel range is another specification you'll want to check out when you're shopping for a mobility scooter. And that is, again, all listed on our website when you're shopping for mobility scooters and other products like electric wheelchairs, which, by the way, we have a whole nother video that shows you what to look out for when purchasing an electric wheelchair, as well as another video that shows you what to look out for when it comes to purchasing a lift chair recliner. The specifications across all those three different product categories vary, and you'll want to learn what the terminology and the specifications mean before making a purchase. I hope this video has been helpful. Our goal is to educate our potential customers so that they make more educated decisions when shopping. Again, feel free to call our non-commissioned sales experts anytime. They'd love to hear from you. My name's Sergio. I'm with Mobility Direct. Until next time, have a great day.